All right, welcome everybody to the all-new 7-minute program design. Yes, I said 7 instead of 15 because now we're splitting up the workouts because some coaches only work on Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, Monday, Wednesday. And I know you'll want to pay more attention to it. So this is your way to just dive right into the one that matters most to you. Okay, what I'm encouraging everybody to do this week is focus on their welcome, because next week for the people that will be traveling to Chicago, I know Jeremy and some of his team are going, or some of the Columbia City teams going, could be some of the Horseheads team going, there's some of the Sayre team. We're going to have a special 1 hour where we review what we're going to be delivering in Chicago, perhaps assigning stations and showing how we will go over all 7 components. Okay, so I'm just saying that right now because the welcome is an important component. And I can't talk about the warm-up every week and not talking about the welcome, because how a guest is welcome sets the tone for their workout. You could be creating energy tunnels as they walk through the door. I know that certain people have even played songs, there's a, Mandy or whatever song you want to play as somebody walks through the door, depending on if there's a song for their name. You could play cheers as people introduce themselves. I know that typically happens after the warm-up, but it's still part of the welcome. You could still be playing cheers as they walk through the door and tell all the, the other members that are already there, hey, I'm going to shout this member out as they come through the door. We're just going to have fun with the cheers thing today. Okay, so yeah, the welcome is on there in place of the warm-up. And as a reminder, here's how this works. All the yellow highlights give you a purpose at each station. The red text either gives you something you might say to be entertaining and engaging, or a song that you might play. The green highlights tell you where you want to start first, because the better you start, the better you finish. And in the case of an orange highlight, it is sometimes due to spatial concerns for certain locations, equipment concerns for certain locations, or is the majority of your members really truly able to do this exercise? Because if not, you may want to consider the option over the primary exercise, because we want to teach to the majority and not the minority. The minority you can come along and you can progress them. So let's just start at the top, and we will go left to right through the dumbbell, Bosu, kettlebell, TRX, and superband. The dumbbell lizard pose alternating T stabilization is highlighted in green because they will be confused about how to do it, where to put their leg, whether they're rotating to the same side or not. And that's why I suggest you introduce it saying, everybody say it with me, same side, right? Same side. The same side as the foot that comes up will be the side that I rotate to, right? So the dumbbell lizard pose, alternating T stabilization. You're going to monitor technique on that one. Your job as a coach, your purpose is to teach technique, okay? The Bosu burpee rotational press, okay? You're going to challenge the pace, very important. And challenging the pace on that. And I put the song Bodies on there because anytime that we do burpees, traditionally, even at Journey events, for those that did not have their Credo card, we might play the body. That's right. So bodies hit the floor. That's what burpees are all about, right? Okay. So Bodies is on there. Again, that's on a shared Apple iTunes account. So you guys are welcome to log in at any location and use this fun coaching list. The kettlebell goblet catch. Okay. So you're going to challenge the weight because this is just like a kettlebell clean, right? So you should be able to power it up there with those hips. Go slow on the way down because eccentric training is awesome for bicep building. Okay. The TRX bear hug. This is a self-love station. Give yourself a hug, right? So challenge foot position. If you ain't shaking, we ain't training. Very important. Then you have the jam ball moving high knees. Once upon a time at Journey, we did a jam ball parade. That's what it felt like, the jam ball parade. Let me pop right over there. I saved it right here for you. So everybody, yeah, that's so funny. That's now, let me tell you something about that. That is a Ray Charles song called The Mess Around, and we are heading into July where you may want to play it because we are going to mep around in July. So you can just kind of like that single legs when you do the single ladies song, a single leg exercise. Sounds like single legs, and this one sounds a little bit like mep around, especially if you're just talking over it a little bit as you're playing that for the folks. Let them know that you're going to mep around. But anyway, you may want to get them moving with this ball movement as like a ball parade. The dumbbell uppercuts, of course, it's the Eye of the Tiger song. I challenge you to try to line up your uppercuts with the beats that come right out on that Rocky song. It's already on the playlist. I won't go so far as to play that for you because everybody knows the dun 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 dun, right? That was a bad impression of it. Dun 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 dun. Front foot elevated split squat. Challenge your range of motion, right? The reason our front foot is elevated is because it is helping you go lower than what you could possibly go on the floor. You're also having an instability challenge, and instability increases intensity. Okay, the kettlebell, single leg, single arm, curl, and press on the right side. I like to say that when we're doing single leg exercises, it's a WTF exercise. And WTF, get your mind out of the gutter. It's not it is what's the focus, right? So give them a focal point, tell them to engage their core. Give them a target for how high they lift their leg, because the higher they lift their leg, the more their core is engaged. So you can do that. This one's highlighted in orange. The next one, the TRX pistol jump squat. Okay. So the pistol jump squat is a tough exercise for most. So you may want to have it just be the regular jump squat. And with that, I would play Van Halen jump. The year was 1984. Daniel LaRusso won the Greater Valley Championship, and all the world was right. And the #1 song in the country was Jump by Van Halen. Music trivia for you. But yeah, that's why it's highlighted in orange. And then the jam ball rollout, that may be where you want to start. Don't leave the butt behind. You're going to help them with that. I will say this on the jump squat. What's another purpose that we can have besides playing that song and demoing correctly? You can apply a little manual resistance to the shoulders, right? So that's something that you can come up and do as well. Just appropriate amount. Make sure you know who you're doing that with. And then what I suggest in a week like this, where many exercises are paired up in round 3 as they are in round 2, this one came from the Horseheads location. Shout out to JC. What I'm suggesting that you do is the first round is just, it's 20-10, it's 4 times a round, right? But the second round, you may want to set up your clocks to where there is 20 seconds, 5 seconds rest. They do one side, they do the other, and then they move on. So it's a superset, right? And then they can go around 4 times. So consider doing that. And if you do, the only exercise that's different is the dumbbell twist and pivot. Otherwise, they're just doing things to the opposite side, right? That's why it works so well to do that. And it still works really well here, even with the uppercuts. You can just say, okay, now for your second exercise, you're going to pivot. But most of your demos are quite easy that way. You don't have to stop the workout to, that would be crazy. Okay, let me do these demos again. Now they're to the other side, like that's silly. So what you'll be doing instead is you really only have to demonstrate these 2, and you just have to demonstrate one side and just say, and then you're going to do it to the other side, superset before you move on. I like to say after they've completed round 1, okay, now we're going to superfy your workout, because it's going to be a superset thing. And then this drop time core, pay attention to Jeremy's instructional video on that. It's a lot of, it's about dropping the core, right? You're either in a plank doing the hip drop, or you got a hip raise. The hip can also have a bent knee or straight legs. But yeah, just basically reference that video for that. It's going to be a 6-pack summer. Another 6-pack summer, right? You might want to play that song. But there it is. There is your Week 27, Saturday, Tuesday, Thursday review. And remember, if you're going to Perform Better Chicago, attend next week for this special 1-hour session where we can all collaborate and try to give everybody a purpose and a part that will be attending. Thank you all so much for tuning in.